What is going on, lovers of the beautiful game? It is the last Friday of the decade. Our producer Gino Fuentes just told me that. So,
that was Maria.
Oh, Maria said that. Maria said, okay, the last Friday of the decade. So, of course, what better way than Sports Burst? George D. Metellus alongside Eric Krakauer. Eric, man.
Our set,
there we go.
Our set is falling to pieces.
Oh, my
that
goodness.
doesn't work. All right, there we go. Our set's falling to pieces.
We're supposed to ignore that and keep it moving.
That did not happen.
Yeah,
you don't
know what we're talking about. We got a great one for you here on Sports Burst. We're going to talk about Liverpool and their dominance in the EPL. We talk about a transfer that almost happened, but by mistake. We'll give you details on that. And then also, Pedro, he misses Barcelona. Sports Burst starts now. And just by the way, don't nobody tell me about the bowl game yesterday with my beloved Miami Hurricanes after they got
nobody
smoked.
cares
Nobody
about
cares.
throw
Okay.
ball.
So let's move. Yeah, the egg ball. Okay. Remember, we want to hear from you. So send us your comments. You know, your compliments, your complaints, your concerns. Mostly compliments here on our Facebook page. Let us know what you have to say. We want to hear from you about the beautiful game. All right, let's get right into it. Liverpool. We thought yesterday on Sports Burst, Eric, we talked about Klopp complaining about the fixture congestion.
Being criminal.
Yes, and being a criminal. And then he goes out and then his squad destroys Leicester. Second place, Leicester City. In an impressive game at King Power Stadium. If it was at Anfield, it'd be impressive. But on the road at King Power Stadium, does this cement Liverpool's place as the undisputed heavyweight champion, the undisputed #1 team in the world?
Yeah, I think it was cemented already.
Yeah.
But so much for my prediction that Leicester would win this one because Liverpool would have tired legs and they need some sort of recovery time, and they didn't. And what was so impressive about this performance was that they didn't show any signs of exhaustion. They were dominant from the very go. I don't remember Leicester having a decent opportunity on goal in the entire game, and they were good from back to front. And you mentioned the fact that they were playing at King Power. What we have seen from Liverpool away from home, or what we haven't seen from Liverpool away from home, is Klopp sending Trent Alexander-Arnold as well as Andrew Robertson up the wings. He usually tends to be a little bit more conservative in his approach, wants to grind out the results. But what a statement. He released those guys up the wings. They were tremendous, especially Alexander-Arnold, who I'd like to talk about in a little bit.
Okay.
And just Leicester, who have been very solid this season, did not have anywhere near the arguments to combat such a dominant Liverpool.
Yeah, it certainly was an impressive performance. Happy Friday, everyone, from Maria Ceci Britos. I always have to Ceci like that. I don't know why. That just sounds. Let's get to, well, let me just make this comment real quick. Everybody talks about best managers on the planet. It's not Pep. It's not Ernesto Valverde. It's not Zidane. The best manager on the planet is Jurgen Klopp. And that is undisputed. I don't care if you're an Everton fan.
That is undisputed.
I don't care if you're a United fan. I don't care what fan you are. You cannot deny that Jurgen Klopp is the best manager on the planet. Chris Klesch says Liverpool has wrapped up the league. And that was the next question. Good job there, Chris, because that was a question I wanted to ask. Have they wrapped up the league with this big lead?
They wrapped up the league 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They didn't even have to play while they were away in Qatar in the Club World Cup. They had a game in hand, and they were still the champions, the de facto champions. Let me just
Go ahead,
give you a little retort on your comment. I still think, and I don't often agree with Zinedine Zidane, but I'm going to agree with him on this one, that Pep Guardiola is still the best manager in the world. I have to say, though, and I had this discussion with Thomas Rongen, who's been on this show and is one of our analysts, and our discussions, as you've heard, can get a little bit fiery. And I was making the point, I had said, Pep Guardiola for me is the best manager in football right now. But I enjoy Jurgen Klopp's football more. And he was like, what? How can one be true? Like, how can both be true? They can both be true. I think Klopp is an unbelievable manager. And the one thing that he also does, it seems like he is the perfect blend of the sort of confidence booster, the arm around the shoulder, the getting the players fired up, and the tactician, because he has completely changed what Liverpool is as an entity. A team that for many years showed up in cup competitions, as we saw in the Champions League, but now is a week in and week out contender. They were very unlucky to lose last season by 1 point. They're going to win it this year. He's done an incredible job. I do want to talk about two players in this game. One that we mentioned, and that is Trent Alexander-Arnold.
Best right back in the world?
Right now, I don't think there can be much argument that he is. And the question was asked yesterday on Twitter by a journalist, I don't remember who it was. Have we seen such a dominant fullback tandem in European football in recent years? And I think you can make the argument that you haven't. The only one that I can really think of as complete as this one. Hi guys, miss everyone besides Eric.
Gabriel
well, you
Amato.
know that's
Gabby,
not the truth, Gabamato.
Hi guys, miss everyone except everyone besides Eric. But how is that? But both of y'all are sporting. How come y'all are both sporting? Y'all are both Portuguese. How is that?
That's called being facetious. Let me just finish my point. Don't get me off
Hey man, it's the holidays, man. You have to use smaller words, okay?
And the point is, I can't think of anybody or any fullback tandem as complete going forward and staying back as this one.
Right.
Other than Philipp Lahm and David Alaba.
Ooh, yeah,
at
when
Bayern
won the
Munich.
treble that year. Yeah, they were fantastic.
And for the amount of time that they were there. And that's keeping in mind that their positions were changed by Pep Guardiola. He basically invented the fullback becoming a defensive midfielder. And defensive
midfielders becoming center backs as well.
Right, exactly. But that's the only one. You can mention Marcelo on the left and Carvajal. No. I don't, and that's funny that Gabriel was actually doing. Marcelo, fantastic going forward, perhaps the best left back of all time going forward.
What about Dani Alves and whoever else?
Well, he played, Dani Alves, that's a good one. Dani Alves played with Eric Abidal.
Yeah.
Eric Abidal, fantastic defensive presence and very often would slot in as a third center back for that Barcelona team, but he didn't give you the same presence going forward. So I think that's a good discussion. And what we saw in this game, because I know I'm going for a long time, is we saw Trent Alexander-Arnold become, for me, the best right back in the world. And he was playing against another one of the top right backs, and that is Ricardo Pereira of Portugal, who is only now getting a sniff of the Portuguese national team. And he looked light years ahead of Ricardo Pereira. And of course, the fact that Liverpool is so dominant plays into that. The other player that I want to mention very quickly, and then I'll shut up, is Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson was a player who essentially lost his position to Fabinho when Fabinho became the number 6 at Liverpool, and understandably so, because he is perhaps right now one of the best number 6s in the world. Jordan Henderson goes to Klopp and says, I can play in the 8 role. I can give you that verticality. He does that, and he does it well, and somebody could even make the argument that he does it better than as a 6. Because of Fabinho, he's back in the 6, and he was a vacuum cleaner in this midfield. This is a player that a lot of Liverpool fans wanted out of the club. They didn't think he fit the mold of this new Liverpool. He didn't win people over until the end of last season.
Okay.
But he is integral to this midfield, and you saw what he can do in that defensive role, and he is the leader of this team.
All right, let's get to some comments here. Rich Murray says, if Liverpool do run away with the EPL title, then it will be a compliment to the players who outran everyone else. But I think Liverpool is ripe for a big points drop. Ooh, okay, Rich, go ahead. Gabby says, wrapped up the league, pun intended. Bob Flickema, if Man City win today, I believe the lead is 11 points, or basically 4 games with a game in hand. It's hard to see them drop 5 games. Joe Robinson, Pep is the teacher, Klopp is the motivator.
I think that's a little bit reductionist, especially as Klopp is concerned, because he's a very good coach.
Yeah, he's excellent. Bam Paul says, bam, I like that. Klopp has some really good strength and coaching and conditioning coaches, no tactics at all in Liverpool's play.
What?
Ooh.
Who said that? Who
Bam
said
Paul.
that?
Klopp has some really good strength and conditioning coaches, no tactics at all in Liverpool's
Bam
play.
Paul. We're not watching the same. We're not watching the same Liverpool. I think what you are confusing is very high tempo, forward-pressing team with one that is disorganized, and you're suggesting that it's reliant on just physical ability, but it isn't. The cohesiveness of the press is outstanding. Even the way that the fullback position has sort of been reinvented in Trent Alexander-Arnold, because he's different from Andrew Robertson. Andrew Robertson is more of the prototypical up-and-down left back who's good in both facets of the game. Trent Alexander-Arnold has added something to the right back position, especially when it comes to his incredible switches of play.
And Robertson and Alexander-Arnold are easily the best fullback tandem in the world. No one is close. I am not paying attention to Radu's comment. Okay?
Can I read it out? Hey, George, what happened to Hurricanes yesterday? Good question. What are the Hurricanes?
So let's move on to Messi. Okay. Well, that was messy what my boys did yesterday. But I digress. Okay.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I digress. All right. So we all agree Liverpool is fantastic. They are in position to win the Premier League. And who do they play in the Champions League in the round of 16?
They are playing.
Stand by.
They are playing. Wait,
Gabe
hold
is
on.
telling us the reigning European champions.
It's a team, Atletico Madrid.
No,
It's Atletico Madrid. Because Atletico Madrid is going to beat Liverpool in the Champions League.
You and bam. Atleti. Woo. Okay, that's something for a future sports burst. There we go. All right.
A manita from João Felix in that game. Yeah, right. February 18th.
Okay, let's talk about, well, someone mentioned here Manchester City. So let's talk about an intriguing situation that happened back in 2008 in which one Lionel Messi could have been a Manchester City player. Now, recently with The Athletic, Gary Cook, who is the former CEO of Manchester City, revealed in that interview in The Athletic that he was in a room with the assistant to the then owner, Thaksin Shinawatra, make sure I say that right, and they were discussing some things, and the assistant says, it's starting to get messy up in here. It's starting to get messy. The situation is getting messy. Well, that was misinterpreted to say we have to get Lionel Messi.
For 70 million pounds, 80 million US.
Exactly. So at the time, they actually, the CEO Cook, put in a bid.
Well, he didn't officially put in the bid.
But he put out
somebody
the offer.
put a bid in for him.
Okay.
And then Barcelona were like, is this for real? And apparently
they were interested.
They were interested.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about 2000. I know that now 70 million or 80 million, $80 million is nothing. You know, it's what I take to Publix. But in those days, significant amount of money for a guy who showed a lot of promise, but certainly wasn't expected to become the GOAT, according to many.
Well, a lot of people that are making comments, they don't live in areas with Publix, so you have to specify what that is.
Grocery store.
Grocery store. There you go. Okay, you have to be the best grocery store. Man, their chicken tender subs are.
Key Foods in New York is not so bad. Actually, it is.
Real quickly, Jean-Kiel says, I disagree. Atletico will not beat Liverpool. Okay, so let's get back to the Manchester City here. So let's say Lionel Messi, let's say they do the deal. Barcelona sells Lionel Messi for what was $80, $90 million US back then. How does he change the complexion of world football in that sky blue Manchester City shirt? I better make sure I not say the SH on City because that's a different thing.
No,
but how does he change the complexion of world football if he does that?
Well, let's go back in time, shall we? Do we have a sound effect for that? It is the summer of 2008. Pep Guardiola has taken over at Barcelona the previous year or that year, but he won the treble in the 2008-2009 season. The treble does not happen. Pep Guardiola is fired. After being fired, he gets a little bit depressed and decides to leave soccer altogether because he doesn't think that he's cut out for management. So Barcelona does not become as dominant a force in European football as they have, or La Liga for that matter. Real Madrid is absolutely dominant. Their dominance interrupted only by one title win from Atletico Madrid in the 2013-2014 season, but it didn't happen at the Camp Nou with a header from Diego Godin. It happened somewhere else. Now let's go to City. Nothing changes.
Nothing changes. So they win Premier League title and they go out early in the Champions League.
I'll tell you why nothing changes.
Why is that?
Because we never got an answer to that age-old question. Could Lionel Messi do it on a cold, wet night in Stoke? And the answer, I think, is no. Because Charlie Adams. There you go.
What?
Dig into your Google, people.
See, that whole can he do it on a cold night in Stoke is the reason why the English Premier League fans get on my damn nerves. Because
I'm not a Premier League fan.
Okay, well, that's the argument.
I'm
Premier
an
League
all-soccer fan.
Yeah, but
I'm
Premier
just
League
kidding.
fans,
I'm being
Premier League
facetious.
fans make that argument though. Oh, he hasn't done it in a co not in Stoke. Who cares? You know, who cares? He could do it on any night, on any occasion against any team. I think City would have dominated the Premier League.
On any night, on any occasion. Is this the George D. Metellus who said on the locker room the other day?
Hold on.
Who said on the locker room, well, he didn't do it in the World Cup final. He didn't do it in the
And what team was he playing for in the World Cup final? Argentina is. Do they play the same? Is that the same
Uruguay.
As Uruguay? You're right. Don't ever tell no Argentine you say Uruguay. No, is that the same as club football? I'm just saying that's two different things, right?
I'm just saying. You said he could do it on any night.
But at club level.
Oh, well,
club level.
Now
okay,
you
so I have to be
that.
specific. I have to be specific. Radu, my boy.
Oh, that's a good point, Radu.
Ronaldo was at United in 2008. That would have been a great Manchester derby if that happened. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Maybe Ronaldo doesn't leave United to go to Real Madrid if Messi stays at City because that rivalry grows from there.
He goes to Barcelona in second. I just say, Radu Marinesco, you're always on our show, and I've always been meaning to say this. One of the teams that I enjoyed watching the most in my life and really turned me on to soccer was the 1994 Romanian national team.
How do you know he's Romanian?
I don't, but I'm assuming by the name. So I hope you are Romanian. I hope you're Romanian.
Radu, let us know if you're Romanian, besides being a hurricane hater.
Both those names seem Romanian to me. Anyway, Ili Dumitrescu, George Hagi.
Hagi was the man. Oh,
Dan Petrescu.
He was the man. Hagi was incredible.
Sorry, I digress on today's show.
Galatasaray legend, by the way, George Hagi.
Yes, he was.
Let's get some
more.
more
Played for Barcelona as well.
Yeah, he sure did. All right, Jean-Kiel, I don't think he becomes the world's great. Messi is a representation of all the players around him, such as Iniesta, Xavi, and Puyol.
And do you know why?
Why is that?
Do you know why he doesn't become that player? Because in a Manchester derby, Roy Keane comes in, 2 studs up, breaks Messi's leg and ruins his career.
Roy Keane did have that.
That's what he did to Alfie Hallang, Hallang's father of RB Salzburg. He ruined his career and then admitted to it in his book, in his autobiography.
All right,
which nobody read.
Nobody read. Ryan Moran says, Eric, you're awesome, but this time George is right. If you all say Neymar makes any team better, then Messi, any club better than better.
I was kidding. Of course, Messi. I mean, do we know what's going to happen? I was just entertaining my sort of revisionist history of Barcelona. That is all.
Okay.
Let's not forget that Cook brought Robinho to Manchester City.
That was
How did that go?
It didn't go too well for Robinho. Not too well.
And Joe,
oh my God,
who won the Libertadores with
Atletico Mineiro. Oh, by the way, Atletico Mineiro fans are celebrating, not because they won anything, but because Cruzeiro got relegated.
And because they have a new manager.
Oh, who?
Rafael Dudamel.
Dudamel's the manager of Cruzeiro.
No.
Of Atletico. Ooh, former Venezuela national team coach.
That's right.
I like him. He's actually pretty good.
Under 20 World Cup finalist.
Yeah. All right, let's get some more comments here. I'm gonna try to say this right. Mehran Tagzidze Tusi. I hope I say that right, Mehran. You are absolutely wrong. Messi can do it on any planet. He doesn't need to move to City to prove his quality. No, we're not talking about if he moved now. We're talking about back in 2008.
And I'm not sure he could do it on any planet because there's the whole gravitational change. So that might have a little bit of an impact. But who am I to talk about science?
You and your astronomy jokes are just killing it right now. All right, Radu says Petrescu was my favorite Chelsea player back in the day.
Radu, you see my man?
Radu, are you Romanian? Let us know because we don't want to, just assume anything.
Bleach blonde Dan Petrescu as well as all the 1998 Romanian national team. That was a big mistake because they went nowhere in that World Cup.
I'm still mad at Romania for what they did to the Colombia in 1994, but in the U.S.
How can you be mad about that?
Because I wanted Colombia to do well in that World Cup.
Another team that George supports.
Well, just in that tournament. Okay, let's move on to Pedro. Oh, Abi Wode says 1804. George, I see it. Oh, all right. IECN, big up. 1804 is the year of independence of Haiti, and then I'm wearing the father of the Haitian independence, Toussaint Louverture. Okay, so there we go. History lesson over.
History
lesson over. All right, let's move on to Pedro real quick here because Pedro is desiring to go back to Barcelona. He recently mentioned to papers or to some journalists in England that if he had the chance to leave Chelsea to go to Barcelona, he would go back in a heartbeat. Key member of that squad back in the day that won some trophies.
Not only key member of that squad, I would argue the best attacking trident Barcelona has ever had before MSN. Okay, so there, Ibrahimovic was there, Samuel Eto'o were there. These are great players, and they formed great tridents. But David Villa, Lionel Messi in the false nine, and Pedro Rodriguez, for me, the most entertaining Barcelona trident. And here's an interesting stat about Pedro Rodriguez.
Okay.
He's the only player to score in every competition that he played in the season that Barcelona won the treble, including the FIFA Club World Cup. He was unbelievable. People forget how important, how crucial a player he was, because before Jordi Alba came to Barcelona, he was the player who really opened up the field on the left wing, allowed, or on the right wing, depending on where David Villa was, and mostly David Villa was on the left. David Villa would cut in, space for Pedro. Unbelievable. The positional interchangeability of that team, they were fantastic to watch.
Yeah, 4 EPL appearances for Pedro so far. He left to go to Chelsea in 2015. I think they would
make it happen.
Yeah, make it happen. Give him some
make
depth
it happen.
going forward in January. All right, we'd like to remind you today here on beIN Sports, this man will be on the call of Beşiktaş, Gençler Birliği, 12:55 p.m. Eastern, 9:55 a.m. Pacific here on beIN Sports. Definitely don't want to miss it. This Turkish Super League season has been incredible. It's been very entertaining. We'll see if Siva Sport can hold on. So let's support this man and watch the game because it's going to be great.
That's right. And then, who doesn't want to listen to me pronounce Turkish names?
And then we apologize for these two babbling this time of the year. It makes them it's hard to keep them focused.
It's all the sugar.
Yes. That does it for Sports
I'm out of
Burst.
control, George. I'm out of control. Bye, big soccer heads.